Let me get my stuff together and put it on speaker mode. Welcome to HollyHood Zoomcast, episode 16. I am Aji Manj. Asante Goodman.
It's your man Good.
Smallwood Worldwide.
EJ Goodman.
Actually, I think it's 17. And anyway, we're doing a movie review today. The movie that was selected actually was selected by this guy, who does two thumbs and selects movies, this guy. So the movie that I selected was a movie that I don't think anybody on the panel has watched. And I did that on purpose because I didn't want to feel obligated to go first and select the movie. And the movie that we selected was Night Teeth. It comes on Netflix. It was interesting to me, but I'm going to let someone else go first. And that someone else would be Greg Goodman. Go on, give your take.
Well, I'll say this. Let me just start with the pettiness of me.
Good God.
I don't know when they started letting the sci-fi name good movies, because Night Teeth is a horrible name for a goddamn movie.
Wow.
That's horrible.
Did you say the sci-fi like the channel?
Yes, you know how sci-fi channel names their movies. They're like robot fight and knife throw. Like they just name crappy movies. Like this sound like a real life sci-fi movie. I was like, this is the best movie that I've seen with a name this bad. That's all I'll say. The name is so horrible. When I heard it, I was like, is there like a typo? Did someone miss some letters? Is it Night of something teeth? Or nope, Night Teeth. That should get there.
Agreed.
It's just a horrible name. But outside of that, the movie was really, really dope, man. It was a different take on vampires. You know what I'm saying? They had young Puerto Rican J. Cole face. He did a good job in the joint too. I thought that was good. Like I said, and the storyline was real different from what you would expect from like a vampire movie. It wasn't super vampster, I guess is the way to put it. It wasn't a super vampire-y. It was just like, it was more like a mob takeover coup story than a vampire story. You know what I mean? It was dope. And like the little girl from the Disney Channel, I forget her name.
So that's where I knew that fat faced little youngster looked familiar. Okay.
Yeah, it's the girl from that show with the kid who's inexplicably Indian who's been living in America his whole life.
That's like 3 different shows where you proceed.
But you know what I'm talking about. I was like, man, come on, man. No one holds their accent that long.
Come on, Hey Jesse.
Yeah, that's it. That's the name of the show. Hey Jesse.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's where
that's girl, Hey Jesse. She did a great job. But like I said, the story was good. I had to watch it twice because the first time around, I had missed a couple of things. But because I didn't understand why his brother ended up having him drive the car that night. I was like, man, you probably should have picked somebody better, knowing that he knows what's going down and all that other stuff. But I said, overall, I thought the joint was solid, though. I thought it was dope.
TJ, what's your take on the movie?
Well, I did see some of the same things that Greg did, but for me, I will say that it left me with too many questions about the vampire part of it, right? Like, for example, there are some things that aren't very vampire-ish, like, you know, I remember when he was tilting the rearview mirror and you could see them, you could see them in the mirror in the back. So It's like, okay, they're vampires. Usually they can't be seen in mirrors. There was no garlic references, nothing like that.
They explained that. They said that they got most of that stuff wrong in Hollywood. Do you remember the beginning when she was explaining?
No, I don't.
But you do the, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll take your word for it. I don't remember seeing that part, but.
No, like in the very beginning, she was just like, they were talking about how they decided to divide up the pie and in the war. They said they let them carry on their myths about us in movies, which most of us, and she was like, most of the stuff is wrong that y'all have in the movies. So that takes away from the other stuff they could.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do vaguely do that now. But like some of the stuff like they made a reference to, I think his name might have been Gus or something. Victor's the guy who made Victor, and they said he always knows where Victor is because he made him. Right. So it kind of got me questioning, how is he able to get away with all this stuff if, you know, if they're able to track his move? Between that and like the weapons that they were using to kill him, you know, was there some special significance to these daggers? Were they owned by something? Was there some kind of holy water put on them? And how come Victor's able to take a shot in the brain and nobody else is? And there was just a lot of stuff like that. Where I was like,
that part confused me too. And I was like, maybe they got to shoot him in the heart. Maybe that's what it is.
Like anything could take Victor down. That dude was just only the sun could take him. He was
sound like that was it.
Yeah, he was a bad dude.
Yeah, see, man, that guy Reek is great at playing those kind of roles, man. He's a fabulous douchebag.
Call him Reek. Yeah, that was him.
That's Reek.
You probably know him from John Wick.
Yeah, that's where I know him from.
Yeah, he was Reek on Game of Thrones.
Was he now?
Yeah.
Yes, he's a douchebag with an accent. He seems to be the guy to call these days.
Yeah, he was a dirt. Go on, TJ. I don't want to derail the show from your take, but he was a dirtbag in this as well. Go on.
He does good dirtbag work. I give him that. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Probably a joy in real life.
Probably total opposite, right? Like Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that I didn't enjoy the movie, but like, yeah, I just wanted a little more understanding, right? Like, do the vampires, did they get stronger as they get older? You know, why was Victor such a bad dude? You know, and why were they able to shred those other vampire people so easily, and not them? But the only thing that I thought was kind of was a little weird was this whole Benny Stockholm syndrome kind of thing going on where he starts helping them out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
But
either.
I wonder.
Blame it on Horny.
Well, I was gonna blame it on that angel dust. You know.
Well, I was gonna say, well, let me just go ahead and derail real quick.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, no. I felt like, I think at first I was really stunned, and then I was like, wait a second, you took these broads to your grandma's house? But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, maybe he was thinking by staying with them and helping them out, it was helping his brother and me, because they had already told him the plan. So that's what I thought he started doing. That's why I thought he started helping. Plus, I think he liked one of the, he liked Hey Jesse.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
but he messed up because he had his way out. This game could have been over if he wouldn't have smashed the black dude over the head with the bottle.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, yeah, that's wild.
That was when it started.
I saw that and I was like, what are you doing? Like, why would you do that? Like,
but Hey Jesse Face, I think just had his heart. You know, he hadn't had that much attention from a chick who looked decent.
I mean, he wanted to clap the cakes, but like at the end of the day, like it was like, you gonna do that or your brother? Now, I could see if he was like, damn, my brother knew this was gonna be some bad. Right. Exactly. Gotta pick one. He was like, well, sorry, champagne bottle to the head. You can keep it moving.
I really do think that he thought he was thinking about his brother when he was like, you know what, if I stick by these broads and get them maybe to like me enough, maybe they'll spare him, you know?
Right.
But which speaks to another part about how bad of a dude his brother probably was. But I'm derailing the show. TJ, I'm gonna let you go, and then Antwon, you're gonna go.
Sure.
I was good, man. I was kind of thinking to myself, all right, well, kind of the side effects of doing angel dust, part of that's hallucinations and stuff like that. So I was like, well, maybe he's, you know, a little loopy right now, and he's just like, oh, I guess we fighting. Bam! Hit the dude in the back of the head with a champagne bottle, because, you know, he didn't know them either, right?
Right.
He did know the girls, so maybe he was just trying to help. I don't know. But I figured his decision.
Another part that was weird about that scene is like they didn't even address him. Like he was just there, and they're having this deep conversation about world takeovers and shooting people up with those heron needles that they had in those crossbows.
And the crossbows.
This nigga just hanging out.
He was
sipping champagne.
Nobody was like, who's the Rican? Like nobody bothered to ask. They're like, hey, you get over here. nothing. He's just standing around.
They probably looked at him. They were like, he ain't no threat.
Yeah,
fair enough.
gotta be it.
Address him.
I don't disagree, but I'm just trying to make some kind of sense out of it. That's all.
And he was a straight up civilian, because you would think somebody would have known he was Jay's little brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, based off of identity. But that means that he was a super civilian, and that Benny didn't play any games. That's what it is.
And that's the other thing. I would have liked to have understood how the decision was made as to who was going to be a part of this world on the human side and who wasn't.
That's a good question.
You know? I just had a lot of questions. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. It just left me with more questions. And then, it was kind of over. Well, I knew the sunlight was going to take him out. That really cooked him pretty rough. But overall, I did enjoy it. Like I said, I would just love for them to fill those gaps for me.
No, that's
to figure out how Benny became who Benny was. Like, that doesn't seem like something that you just leave to, like, leader of the Latin Kings. Like, that doesn't seem like that seems like they're like, hey man, we need some Crips on this vampire shit. Like, it doesn't seem like the move when you sit at the negotiation table of this magnitude. They hand it off, to the folks.
Like the type. He did not seem like the type. And then of all people for Victor to go after, he went after his girl. I'm like, yo, I don't know about that. I mean, like, we saw how much what's the right word? How much he could tolerate when he was at the dinner table with Victor. Like, it took him like less than a paragraph worth of dialogue. He was like, you know what, man? I'm gonna just shoot you in the face. How about that? It's like, that's what I think I'll do. So
now, for that part, I was trying to decipher. Was he eating his girlfriend? Was that what he was saying?
That's what he said.
I was waiting. No, you don't. Yeah, that's what I kind of deciphered from it. I was like, I think that's his girl. Because remember at the beginning, where he's like, stay here or whatever, and then he comes out, the car door's ripped off and she's gone. Mm-hmm. He was like, I was saving her for you. And I was like,
yeah.
You guessed it.
Go ahead, Antwon. It's on you, man. I know I've been playing Darrell Revis. Go ahead.
Revis Island. Nah. I thought the movie was dope. I thought it was like Grand Theft Auto meets, Vampire Edition or something. Like, they didn't have anything like traditional from vampire movies, and I actually liked that about it. So it wasn't nobody flying around right away or anything, people mysteriously appearing behind you. It was just like a battle for turf and territory. I like the fact that it was straightforward. I like the naiveness of Benny, because he was really oblivious to everything going on around him. At the same time, the goofy guy trying to please the girl that he thought was cute, not realizing they have plans to kill him because they think he's his brother Jay. And so that was the beef I kind of had with the movie, was like Jay seeing that he's no nonsense and realizing the seriousness of that world. Why would you let your brother drive and go pick up, unless he didn't know he did that job in particular? Yeah, right. That's the only thing I could think of. Because if he did, he's a super dirtbag if he knew that. So.
And the other thing that makes it so crazy is, like, so I'm wondering who he drives for normally, because that vehicle didn't seem like it was souped up for just anything. And I don't think he was driving, considering what he does, I don't know if he was driving around vampirist.
He wasn't taking you to Outback Steakhouse, I'll tell you that much.
Right.
What was going on with that? He was very serious too. He's like, yo, don't do it. I'll pull you out the car now. So, like you said, it had some serious clientele there. I thought that I liked his character though, Jay, because he was about the business and he was trying to end that shit. And so Benny, when he shifted the paradigm and smashed old buddy with the champagne bottle, that was the unexpected. And also, I think for me, what was unexpected, the type of weapons they were using. Like, I would have thought it's 2022, I'm sure the movie shot in 21, but 22, you got crossbows like that, shooting these like whistling little things that they were literally like stepping to the side, like, that's all you got? You sure? You gonna hit me right here? Like, I thought the weapons for the seriousness of the battle should have been like escalated to a higher level, But otherwise, love the movie. I like the ending, actually. The guy gets the girl. He also gets to join her in the afterlife. Also, his brother lets him know, look, I'm still about that action. You know what you need to do in terms of the side you're going to be on. And so it was cool for me. Like I said before, it reminded me of Vampires versus Bronx, which was another one that was, if you haven't seen that, check that out. It was pretty dope. I liked it. There's so many little things that I do have questions about, like TJ, but for the most part, the overarching story, good.
Yeah, so I'm finally here. I've already said all my takes, actually, and everyone else's takes. No, I was but no, I thought it was really good. Like I said, I thought that I didn't think it was great or anything, but I thought it was a really solid movie. It was a watch. It was a Friday night watch. You know what I mean? Like it's a Friday night watch. Entertaining. Like everyone's been saying, Benny's character was I liked Benny's character. I liked how naive he was. I liked he was just kind of a cool, laid back guy. Thought his dynamic with some of his classmates was kind of weird because they like both liked him and didn't like him at the same time. It's kind of weird.
I thought they should have did a better job of highlighting which way was it supposed to go.
Like, right. Because they made him seem like, oh, he's kind of this outsider nerd, but I don't think that was the case. I think he just couldn't get that girl, and the dude knew that, so he just used that against him. But it wasn't like he hated Benny. You know what I mean? I don't think it was like that. Not to mention that he had dropped a line where I was like, huh? Where he was like, you know, they took me in, like Jay wasn't his full brother. He was like his half brother. And he just kind of dropped that line and kind of left it out there. And then Hey Jesse Face was like, yeah, you know, I was an orphan too when I walked away. So it was just kind of weird. It was just kind of different as far as the way that went. Like I said, I thought that he smashed old dude over the head with the bottle just because I think he was doing some math and was like, well, maybe, you know, I have a good rapport with Hey Jesse Face. Let me go ahead and stay on her good side, and maybe I can earn a cute smile face vampire, the evil angry one.
Vampire Harley Quinn.
Yeah, she's very. I liked her. I loved her, like how her face looked when she smiled, but she rarely smiled during the movie. She rarely smiled during the movie because she was too busy biting people's jugglers out. And she was, and I thought that was another interesting dynamic, was the fact that I think that she felt like a mother to Hey Jesse Face, and also the fact that she was actually very vulnerable, but she only showed her vulnerabilities to Victor. She didn't show him anything else. I thought that was also very interesting, as if to say like she wasn't really this type of person, but for what the mission was that night, she was willing to just go all out, and I thought that was interesting. But I thought the movie was dope. I really did. Well, we can't get to that part yet. We'll get to that part later. But I like the dynamic of Jay as his older brother. I have older brothers, so I like the dynamic of that. How protective he was of him, and how he was like, "Yo, they got who?" And it was just like, it was on from there on out. It was on. It was like he was already on the warpath because they did that to his girl. But then he heard about his brother being the one driving him. He was like, "Oh, nobody's surviving this night. Nobody." And I'm like, and similar to Greg, I was like, I didn't know that they let Latin Kings pick up the vampire joint. I was like, that's crazy. It was kind of like it was like Bright, except for the orcs were actually Hispanic. So it was almost like that. Yeah. So yeah, it was different. Which I actually think in Bright they were Hispanic. Also, I think there was like some kind of weird. They were doing some kind of weird essay thing with that. I don't know. So
I go back and watch that one again. I remember Bright.
Yeah. No, they really were, man. It's weird. Anyway.
But the thing about this movie too is, if you know anything about vampire movies or the vampire culture, is that the maker, so like the skinny joint who rarely smiled, when you know whoever they make, they have a special relationship with them. So it's a lot of conflicts of interest. And so I like that you got a chance to see that, and the dynamics of when shit got real at the end, the alliances changed and shifted. She's like, wait, what are you doing? Like, you know, basically, you know, Victor killed both of us. He's crazy enough to do that.
Yeah.
You forgot the plan. And so she was like, nah, not doing it. And so it's interesting. It helped.
And I thought Victor, man, that was a wild plan, man. Because that was the part that I had a question about at the very end was like, okay, so Hey Jesse Face and Benny are both vamps now, and they get to drive away, but they don't have any money. Like, they don't have any of those connections, right? Didn't they burn all that stuff to the ground on that one night? Like, they burned all their connections, they burned all their protection. What are they doing exactly? So I was kind of confused about that. And then he gave his brother all that money in the duffel bag. So I don't know what Benny's doing besides looking cool. You know, like I don't know what he's doing.
I
But
tell
the
you
thing
what,
that got me,
Vinny is about to have the coldest nightclub on the planet, son. Or not Vinny. Vinny. He's gonna take his beats. He's gonna take that Vamster hole. Open up a spot. And that's what's gonna be, man.
Wow.
he better run Def Jam for the next 1,000 years.
Benny, I'm pretty sure that Benny, I think at the end when he asked those two if they wanted to ride, I'm pretty sure he turned them over or killed them or ate them. You remember when they pulled up at the end?
Yeah, the friends. Yeah.
I don't think so.
He was like, "Y'all want to ride?"
I don't think so.
I know so. Why
I like they
wouldn't-
left it open to interpretation, but I thought that too. I
Really?
was like, well, I thought payback's coming swift.
Because Benny's not that type. It didn't strike me as that type of dude. Even as a vampire, he didn't strike me as that type of dude.
Hey man,
Yeah.
Benny got it. Hey, why not?
Benny's a-
people that are disrespectful. Try to laugh him out the line at the club. That's what I would do.
Yeah, but
I also thought that one of the things for the vampire culture is that the older you get, the stronger you get. I thought it was a little bit too easy that the two ladies were able to go around and just take out cats. So like if you're like 1,000 years old and they're much older and they're actually controlling these territories, I know for the sake of the movie, I suspended real life belief, but I was like, would you really have like, just manhandle them like that? I don't think so, but
I think so
It was
because
good.
I think those two chicks were they were foot soldiers. You know what I'm saying? The other two were generals. They ain't been in the fight in a long time. It's like, it's been peaceful
That's a
for
good
like
point.
years. They've been out in the streets putting in work. So, they might have been
possible,
rusting
man.
their stuff. And plus, they probably would have never seen it coming.
okay.
They weren't expecting it.
Let's go to favorite people in the movie. Favorite character in the movie. TJ, who's your favorite character?
Favorite character?
Yeah.
Jay.
Okay.
Jay is my guy. Consistent, tough, driven, focused, honorable. Right. He was a really solid dude, which is why he deserved the $1 million in cash. But no, he was my favorite character. And just because I thought it was hard. I mean, Victor was hard too, but Victor was kind of scumbaggy hard. Like,
Yeah.
we're probably gonna get to bad characters, so I'll leave that alone. Jay.
Here we go. Okay. Jay, that's a good pick. Antwon, who's the best character?
Same, Jay, simply because he's no nonsense. He was about his business and he never deviated from the mission. Only time he did is when he found out Benny was involved and it intensified for him. So I love that. Favorite character for this movie.
Greg, best character.
Beta. I'm sorry. No, my favorite character was actually what's his name? Vinny.
Benny.
Not Benny. The headband.
Victor?
Victor. That's his name. Victor. Yeah, he's my favorite because man, real talk, he felt slighted and he decided to take things in his own hands, and he was willing to die to take over. I mean, sure, he was a douchebag, but I understand it. He felt slighted. He felt like these old dudes was messing up the game, so he decided he could run it better, and he tried his best to do that. Unfortunately, he did not meet his goal. I think it would have been better if he won.
I'm gonna go. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna go chalk here. I'll go with the main character, and I'll go Benny. I actually like Benny a lot. I thought probably Jay is the best character, but I'm gonna go with Benny just to change it up. I mean, I thought it was a solid character all through and through, and he didn't really front about who he was as far as being himself.
No.
He was himself the whole time he was there.
He was a human though. I like that about him. He was like, his flaws weren't like douchebag flaws. It was just,
Right.
He was a person. He
Yeah.
didn't know what he didn't know. And when he found out, react.
Him being the type of person that he was, I think was what had even gotten him that far, even with the crazy vamp chick.
Oh yeah.
Just him being, they're like, oh, this guy really doesn't really belong in this at all. Like he's just a kid, man. It's like in every way, he's just a kid. He really shouldn't be involved. So worst character worst character. That's probably the best way to do it. Greg, we'll go with you first.
Worst character?
I'll give you a chance to think about it. I can do it. I can do it.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and do yours.
It was that cop, man. It was the cop.
Yeah.
For me, it was the cop. Because, you know, he's sitting there breaking the law as he's protecting the law. You understand what I'm saying? That's why. And he would have bled out my man Benny. You know what I mean? He would have let him out. You know, he would have bled him out right there in that garage. You're not supposed to be here. It's like, yeah, well, you're supposed to be doing something else too. Damn it.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was doing at first. He was around looking around like, what is he doing?
Yeah. So mine's the cop. Greg, I'm gonna go back to you. You ready yet?
I would probably say, although the cop is a really, really solid choice.
Thank you.
I would probably say the two douchebags that were getting drained.
Oh, that's a good one.
They're just
That's
horrible
a good
people, man. they were just elitist scum. Like they deserved to die. I'm sorry. They're like, we got a treaty and all this other, but that had nothing to do with it. They were just, I don't like spoiled rich kids. And he's definitely they were spoiled rich kids that deserve to die. Although their part was really short, I was just like, if I could choose anyone to kill in this whole movie, it'd been them. For no other reason than I just don't like their demeanor.
I like these picks so far.
Very petty of me, I know, but
no, I was thinking about them actually, because they were sitting there hanging upside down. They probably do that like every weekend.
The cop is exactly what I expected to be. He's just a shitty dude. He's just a shitty cop that plays both sides of the law.
Wow.
A cop. So
no need to push back on my pick. I mean, I don't understand. Anyway, so all right, Antwon. Worst character.
Worst character. I'm agreeing with you, but Greg convinced me it is the two guys. But I picked the cop originally because I never forgot what he did to Benny, and I'm like, listen. Especially once I found out he knew what was going on. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, come on, you're just a scumbag. But it's like, yeah, he for me was my worst pick of the whole movie because I didn't have beef with Victor. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell somebody how to feel. He felt slighted, and he went on a mission, and it's either going to win or you're going to lose. But the cop, he had a choice. This wasn't your business. I don't care if the kid was coming out of there with whatever. Let him go. Let him go. Mm-hmm. He not only hemmed him up, he's going to throw him in a trunk and everything. I'm like,
yeah, that guy, man.
Yeah.
TJ, who's the worst character to you?
Hey, good picks, guys. I'm going with the guy that made Victor. That's who I'm going with. What a useless hump. Like,
give me blood.
Yeah, this guy. No. If there is some kind of connection between the maker and the new vampire, and Victor felt slighted, I'm assuming the slight came from this guy, right? They all know who Victor is. They understand his ambitions, his temperament, all that stuff. And he did absolutely bupkis to intervene or to stop him or to thwart his plan. I mean, Victor did all this with 2 people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A whole army. I mean, what an inept moron. And he got exactly what he deserved. Gurgling in his own blood, asking for blood.
Got put out his misery by Jay.
Yes, he did. Got what he deserved for being a useless hump.
That's good.
Yeah. Every time I see that guy, I feel like he's gonna start asking for Jimmy John's sandwiches.
There's Jimmy Johnson. That's hilarious.
He just reminded me of that. Every time I see him, he's like, "Where's the Jimmy John's?" I was like, "Yo, they need to have an outtake with this guy doing that
shit." Yo, okay, we're not giving away free sponsors. Shout out to Black Events for letting us do this. Shout out to the Odd Ninja. Shout out to Herbs Day and whatever other big black businesses that are out there. Happy Black History Month. Now, to the final part of the movie review for the HollyHood crew. What's your rating? We're gonna start all the way at the end, at least from my vantage point. Antwon, what's your rating for the movie?
Out of 5, 3.5 out of 5. Again, solid movie. Not great, but an enjoyable story. And I think you described it perfectly. It's a Friday night movie.
Fantastic.
Can't miss.
TJ.
I'm going 3. I enjoyed it, but there were just too many holes for me, you know, like maybe I should watch it again, but yeah.
Greg.
Yeah, I give it about same as Antwon, about 3.5. I mean, it was a solid movie, but there's, like TJ said, a lot of unanswered questions. And, you know, let's be honest, it's a vampire movie. I expected to see breast.
And that's our show, folks. We like to thank everybody for tuning in. Everybody who decided to take out of their Saturday.
That was a joke.
We like to thank everybody who decided to take some time out, check us out on YouTube. Check out others on YouTube. So no.
I had to take the points off too because of just the title of the movie. Like you can't just be like, what are you about to watch? Night. Like I hate the name of that movie. It is like the worst name for any movie off the Sci-Fi Channel I've ever seen in my life.
You know, I feel real bad because when I saw that, I was like, that's an interesting name. I didn't think it sucked. I just thought it was interesting. So to hear,
I would have never if you wouldn't have suggested it just based on the title.
I mean, gosh, man. All right, so you're really laying me down, man. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Anyway, so my rating is a 3.25. I'm gonna go in the middle. First, I was like a 3, but the more we talked about it, the more I was like, it was very enjoyable, and it was a Friday night movie for sure. So that was it. We have now reached our last person to give a suggestion for a movie. The one, the only, the macaroni, Greg Goodman. He doesn't have to say what he's gonna give.
Oh, I can say what it's gonna be already.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess give the people what they want.
The Education of Sonny Carson. Now, you're only gonna be able to find this joint on YouTube. It is an old throwback 70s black movie. And I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna go through all the stuff about it. Let's just say, if you're a hip hop fan, you've heard these things before. I'll just say that. There's a lot of quotables in this joint.
That's a good enough.
Perhaps one of the most slept on movies of all times.
It's a good enough tease.
Not to say that it's, like I said, you'll see.
It's a good enough tease. Okay?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Gosh, this guy always talking. Anyway, so that's our show today, folks. Make sure you subscribe, click the like, tell others, share, do all that stuff.